what we've now learned is that in March, during a meeting between Special Counsel Robert Mueller's prosecutors and President Donald Trump's lawyers, the Mueller team actually kind of floated or broached this subject of possibly subpoenaing the president and compelling him to testify as part of the Russia probe. So these have been ongoing negotiations where they're trying to secure an interview with the president where they can question him about a number of different topics. And this is all part of not only an investigation into Russian election interference and possible coordination with the Trump campaign, but also whether or not the president obstructed justice in any way through his firing of Jim Comey and some of the conversations and actions that he took regarding the firing of Michael Flynn, and then also pressure that he exerted on Attorney General Jeff Sessions. So John Dowd is actually President Donald Trump's former personal attorney. He was on his legal team and leading the legal team. He was the key person in the negotiations between the president's legal team and Mueller's team. But then he resigned last month. Now, what we're learning, though, is that a meeting that occurred earlier in March, when he was still leading this legal team, that's whenever this whole subpoena issue came up, where there was a conversation where they were trying to negotiate the terms of the interview, and Mueller's team basically said, well, we could, at some point, try to compel the president's testimony. Right now, we're in a little bit of a reset on President Donald Trump's legal team because recently, Dowd left and they brought in Rudy Giuliani. They also brought in two really seasoned former federal prosecutors, Marty and Jane Raskin, out of Florida. And so it's not exactly clear what kind of impact this would have on the negotiations currently. I think why this is important is that anytime something like this becomes public, it really fires up the president. And as we've seen over the last few days and few weeks, he has really upped his attacks on the special counsel and the Justice Department at large. Even if there was a subpoena issued, that doesn't necessarily mean that Trump would actually have to to answer any questions. What would happen is that either they would try to go to court to get the subpoena quashed, or he could go into the grand jury room and basically take the Fifth the entire time. Everybody has the Fifth Amendment protection against self-incrimination, and they cannot compel you to testify against yourself.